Welcome to Family Search. We're going to do some indexing. So you'd click Get Involved, go to Indexing. What we're going to be working on is the New York Eastern District Naturalization Record. For my ward, I have it adopted, so you'll just go to our ward and you'll see it if you scroll all the way down. For others, you can hit Find a Batch and you'll just search it. Right now, I have it right here, New York, U.S. New York Eastern District Naturalization Record. So index is what you'd click. Excuse my cold, my allergies. These are important details that we're gonna go over. This is just reiterating them. So there is a lot of different ones, types of documents that you can run into whenever we go over this. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or more different types of documents. So if you ever don't feel comfortable with a document, you're just going to go ahead and click Batch and return it. And don't feel bad about doing that. I've returned so many. If they're hard to read or if they're not exactly like the examples, it can make it hard sometimes to discern. So what happens is usually what should show up first, I don't know why it didn't, is the project instructions. You're always going to want to read those. So the project description, this is naturalization records from New York during 1906 to 1957, and there's usually going to be 2 images, and they can contain up to 2 different records. What to index? Records that are outside that date range of 1906 to 1957 should still be indexed. You're going to index, like I said, all types of documents. You can read through all the lists, but to cut time, we're not going to read all of that. Indexes are images that only have a name and reference information, such as a page or volume number or dates available. Indexes should be marked as no extractable data. Now here are the examples of what to index. How to index a declaration of intention is what we're going to go over first. So these are all people wanting to be United States Americans. They've come from somewhere, a different country, so I think it's really cool. If there's not any of the information that they're wanting, you'll just hit Control B, or on a Mac, Command B to mark the field as blank. Let's say they didn't have a spouse, or you can't find the birthday or something, or there's not a record number. You'll hit Control B or Command B. And then on these, you're going to be looking for a record number, their given name, their surname. Given names are first, middle names, or other names that they might be known by. Surnames are what we call last names. Their birth, month, day, year, where they were born. The birth record, month, day, year, that's when the record was seen by the government. And then if there's any spouse information as their spouse given names, birth, year, and then usually there's also surnames, but on these records you'll find that most of them don't have a surname because you never just guess that the surname of the person that you're doing it for is also the surname of the second person unless it's actually written out. And then you'll want to find their birth year and where they were born. Names may have been written in more than one place throughout the document, so look throughout the document for the most complete version of the name to be typed in the indexing field. So as we see here, it's just Rose Mandel. But if you keep reading later, she was known in her apartment as under Rosielle or Rose Gertworth. You put or in between if it's like kind of a nickname. Then if it's not like a nickname, then you just go ahead and just write without the word or. And then up here on documents of intention, you'll find these things correspond. So the number 4 here corresponds with the number 4 there, and so on and so forth. Please note, because the first one for record number, if multiple numbers were recorded, see like there's a number up here and one right there, and sometimes on the side or down at the bottom. There can be lots of numbers on these, but for the record number, index the number indicated by the term NO, NO, right there, the one that's closest to it. That's the number you're going to type in. So that's pretty much how you're going to do declaration of intention. Most of them, you're just going to kind of correspond the numbers. How to index a petition of naturalization. So again, the record number by the NO, who it is, and the petition of. You're going to type in the given names, the surnames. They were born there, and birth, month, day, year will be found there, as the corresponding numbers say. The record month, day, year is going to be at the bottom, but then for the record place, it's actually going to be at the top of this document. Can you go throw that away, please? And then there is spouse information on these ones, usually, if they're married. That will be found kind of here in the middle. We were married where, and my spouse's name, and where they were born. So the birth year, the birthplace, the name of their spouse. Again, remember to look for names in full. Expand abbreviations or correct misspellings when indexing place names. So this person wrote Duschenfurt. It's actually Oschenfurt. So usually what I do before I type in something is I like open up a Google tab and see if I spelled it right, or but it's always best to just write it as written if you're not sure. But then also they wrote Brooklyn, New York instead of Brooklyn, NY. So again, write it all out. Please note for petitions of naturalization that have a date recorded only in the affidavit of witness section, type that date in the appropriate fields. Do not include any other information of the affidavit of witnesses. So I'm going to show you what that means. Scroll down. This is the affidavit of witness section. This is just people who know them that are saying yes, they're who they are. They don't want any of this information to be indexed. They really just want the date from down here, usually right after their signature, or close to the Paul Stoltz's signature for the record. But if there's not a record date, month, year written here, then they said it's okay to write the one that's up here. That's what they're saying there. How to index an oath of allegiance. These are really easy. It's just pretty much their name and the record, month, day, year. Excuse my child. Please note, do not index the certificate number recorded at the bottom of the record in the record number field. This is what they're talking about. Do not index this number. Leave it blank. You'll hit Control B. This is how to do a name change. There's going to be two different ways they'll look usually on the paper, so you'll just see which one looks most similar to yours to help you figure out which one to correspond to. These ones, there is a record number, and it's actually going to be down here under number. These ones don't have a record number. So they do want you to look for the name, like the most full name, since these are name changes. So up here it's her name, Edwards, and then her last name is a change. So then make sure you write it there. And since it's not like a nickname, you don't write the word or, you just write it. You'll find the record day, month, year written at the top, along with where. And instead of writing DC, you write District of Columbia to expand those abbreviations. And again, about the names, looking for the most full name and expanding abbreviations such as New York. And I wanted to make a note here. They didn't write the surname here because they couldn't really read it. So they went ahead and just wrote where it was legible. What to remember about this project? I think I read all those instructions. So if you ever come to something that you're stumped, these purple question marks are super great for making it quick and simple answers. So these images, people will be able to see them once this all gets done. So even if these documents, like I'm going to use Paul's as an example, if it didn't say Paul Stoltz, you're still going to index all the rest of the information. That's what that one's saying. Do not create a separate entry for other people. So you're not going to create another entry for his wife. You're just going to leave it, all this information all on here. We're not going to make extra things. Images containing multiple records. So I'll show you that later. We already went over that one. So if it's in behalf of a spouse, so say Paul Stoltz wasn't actually, it was his child, you still write it as just like this, and ignore like if it was like I am the parent guardian part. Always index it even if natural citizenship was granted or denied. That is kind of it. This rest of the stuff I'm going to be showing you. Make sure, this one though, index the birthplace. Please remember the term native or foreign does not necessarily indicate the birthplace. Only terms such as nativity or country of nativity. Luckily, these ones are really easy to understand that. So everything else we went over, I am going to be showing you this one though. So I'm going to show you how to index the Oath of Allegiance. Luckily, it looks pretty much like this one. So we're just going to go at it. Yes, it looks just like what we've been doing. This is one of naturalization, certificate of arrival. So I'm pretty sure the of arrival. Yep, we're going to index this one too. Let's do this. Not 100% sure. I didn't look at this one before. So, okay. Might not do this one. Anyway, I'm going to say yes for now. Remember, Oath of Allegiance, do not index the record number. So we're going to do Control or Command B, make it blank. Ooh, this one's tricky because it's all just handwritten. So if you cannot read a name or you don't really know what to do, please feel free to just return the badge. I'm not going to sit here and try to figure this out with you. So that's the name. That's the given name. It looks like Hannah. And then that's the surname. And then I'm just going to do Control B for the other stuff because it's not here. And then type in the 14th day. Oh, wait, sorry, that's January 1st. January 14th, 1935. And then I'm going to look here. It doesn't really say where, but this one might because it looks like there's a little more information. No, not really. I'm going to do Control blank. No spouse information, Control blank. There's not a second person, so I'm going to delete the extra. And then you'd go to your second image. I'm going to get back to you guys on this one, so I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to show you the other ones that were more important. So this is a petition of naturalization. It goes along with what we should index and what we looked at. So yes, that definitely should be indexed. This is a second page of that same information about the lady because I've already read this one. So actually, no extractable data because, and then you're going to delete the stuff here, because all that information is going to go on this one, not the separate information on the separate pages. So it's all going to be here. Oh, I got one that somebody else already kind of tried to do. So the petition for naturalization, you're going to go to this one that kind of looks like it and just try your best to correspond. So the record number here is 486120. Teresa Mary Manka as a surname, female. She was born July 8th, 1926 in Naples, Italy. So fun. We're going to get the record number from the second page. So you can either just click it, or you're going to go to data entry. And the project instructions, we're talking a lot about this. So you're going, because what to do when records span 2 images. If the last record on an image continues on to the next page, index the entire record, including what continues on to the next image. To see the next image while you continue indexing this information, you're going to do the following, which is what I'm going to show you how to do. Data entry, show reference image. So this is my batch, and then this is the batch as a whole. So all the pictures they've ever taken, they only show you up to 5 before your batch, and then 5 after your batch. So to be able to look at both at the same time, I'm going to click that one so I can just zoom in. She was sworn on the 18th of March 1952. So I'm actually going to change this. March. Silly. The record place, as we see in naturalizations, as this one says, is in the top right. So Brooklyn, New York, which is where most of these will be. Brooklyn, New York. Remember to write it all out. Spouse's given name. So the name of my wife or husband is Joseph. And then they didn't actually write the surname, so that one is a blank. We were married. My spouse was born November 26, 1924. And they were born in Brooklyn, New York. Oh, and then because somebody else did this, I have to click all these verify buttons, or I can just say I verified every field. Okay. And then there's not a second entry, so on these there will be like a second one just in case already. So just click that delete trash can button and delete that second entry. Okay. And then next image. Next. There's one issue. Oh, I needed to verify that. Okay. I'm going to submit this badge and get my confetti. Cha-ching. Okay, I do want to show you guys one last nuance to these batches. So, so whenever I was given this, it's first affidavit of a witness and then declaration of intention. So the problem with this is this one is actually to, whenever they were doing it, I'm going to show you the reference images. This is my batch, and then the one before. This one before is actually about this person on my first batch. So according to the rules, if the first record of an image begins on a previous image, do not index it. The record will be indexed as part of a previous batch. Start indexing at the first complete record. So because of this, we're going to say no extractable data on this first image. And then the second one, yes, because it starts a new one. Yes, and declaration of intention, as we've seen, we're going to index this one. There's no extractable data on the first one, so we're going to go no. And again, I got something that somebody started. So you kind of just, again, go about it as kind of trying to copy. This one, this is a hard call on which number to use. So, because they tell you to use the one right after the number. So, again, that's where you kind of just read it and then make your best guess. So that's one of those things you'll just have to use your best judgment and then figure it all out and turn it in. But due to time, I would agree with them probably because those numbers look older than the newer print ones. Like, it looks more in line with that. So I'll probably just agree with them there. But anyway, that's all I'm going to show you guys today about how to index this batch. I hope not too many more nuances show up. And again, if it does, just remember to return those batches and get ones that you feel more confident in. Have a good time indexing.